Hello YouTube! This is Darkspine Slayer, and doing something a bit different tonight, guys. I feel this has to be said. My channel has primarily revolved around Nintendo since its inception, definitely since its reboot. But man, they make it hard to love them sometimes. Really, really hard. Let's talk about Pokebank for a minute. It's been quite a highly anticipated app for the new Pokemon games. One of Nintendo's biggest franchises, and that's not by mistake. They do understand some things that help this franchise get the following it does. And some things, this isn't just a reflection on Bank, this is a reflection on their entire fucking ecosystem. It's just ridiculous. Let's start at the beginning. Let's explain. Maybe some of you aren't quite aware or haven't used it quite yet. Let's explain how Pokebank works. Let's start with the fact it's a subscription service. This thing asks you to pay $5 a year. It is a small amount of money, but it is a subscription service. They are asking you to give your hard-earned $5, that could go towards a sandwich or something, and they are asking you to put this towards a service for you to use for what is supposed to be Pokemon games for generations to come. This service allows you to store up to 3,000 Pokemon at a time. And it's it in combination with a second app, we'll get to that in a minute. A second app called Transport is the only way to move Pokemon from Generation 5 to Generation 6. Nintendo clearly understands that this is important. They clearly understand the benefit of keeping compatibility with these games. You've got these players all around the world that have invested hundreds of hours into these games, caught hundreds, thousands of Pokemon, bred these Pokemon, and obviously they put this time in because they feel they can get that they can spend that time, get that attachment with their Pokemon that they worked so hard to create. Players, they feel comfortable doing this because they've been able to move Pokemon up to the next generation ever since the Game Boy Advance. And you've seen a bigger competitive scene, you've seen all this stuff, but overall it's a big reason why Pokemon is as big as it is and has the hardcore fans that it does, because they feel like they can spend that time with it and be rewarded, not be cut off from their hard work in the next game. Okay, first of all, let's get to Pokemon Transporter. It's a separate app from Pokebank. You download a separate application to move these Pokemon over, which is ridiculous, but okay. Okay. 2 different apps. That's a lot of app switching. But here's how Pokemon Transporter works. It will read Box 1. It'll only read Box 1. It'll only read Box 1 of your Gen 5 game. It won't read any other boxes, limiting you to 30 Pokemon at a time. I don't consider myself a hardcore Pokemon fan. Over the generations, I still have a couple hundred Pokemon. This arbitrary 30-man limit is just a little ridiculous. It is just... And maybe it wouldn't be so bad if we were limited to 30 at a time, but, maybe a few hundred at a time, everyone doing that would be a bit of a strain on the servers, alright. Why do the Pokemon have to be in box 1? That is just an arbitrary design decision. That and like to do this, you're constantly switching back between several different apps. You're going from Pokemon, in my example, you're going from Pokemon Black, moving one at a time. 30 Pokemon into box 1. Okay, they're in box 1. Let's head over to Pokemon Transporter. I move those into Pokemon Transporter. They're up there. I can't... What I have to do now is I have to go back into Pokemon Bank, move these out of the transport box, over to another box, save and exit, then go back to Black. This is three entirely different apps. There's no reason for Bank and Transporter to be two separate apps. And I realized Pokemon Black wasn't exactly designed at a time this was even a thought. That's not really an excuse, though. Why can't the app read more than box 1? That's just ridiculous. Maybe 30 Pokemon at a time. Fine. Maybe you'll let me go from box 1 to box 2 to box 3. And on. It's like... It's like you try to upgrade... It's like you try to upgrade Windows Vista to Windows 7, for example. Let's say you had to have both computers plugged in, and you could only move this... You could only move one folder at a time. Each folder could only have so much data in it. You could only do this through a USB key that you had to keep moving back and forth between computers. That'd be ridiculous. There is no other... I would draw a parallel with Pokemon Bank that does it right, but there is no parallel. This is something only Nintendo really has the intellectual property to do, and they do it in the most obtuse way possible. And like I said earlier, this isn't just Pokemon Bank. This is a symptom of how Nintendo handles themselves as a whole. Let's talk about the Wii U for a minute. I can excuse the fact it doesn't do a lot of media. It does Netflix at most. But we're over a year into the life of the system. No folders. The load times are long as shit. Still, there is no consistency with the 3DS software. Activity log is a joke compared to the 3DS. It's maddeningly bare bones. Complete lack of notifications. There is nothing other than a little light on the gamepad that you're not even looking at to tell you that someone might be online. The download manager is horrible. It doesn't auto-update. It doesn't auto-download. On 3DS, friend codes are still a thing, which is just fucking ridiculous. There is no messaging system on either of these. And what it does have is tucked away inside Miiverse on the Wii U. Nintendo, you do not live in a vacuum. We have things called notifications. You are not the only one out there. You have competition. Let's look at PlayStation, for example. I have one PlayStation ID. This PlayStation ID works on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Portable. On all of these consoles, I have access to all of my data. I can look at all of my trophies. I can download many of my games. It's just while I'm playing on the PlayStation, I can have something download. It'll tell me when it's done. I can have a friend come online I might want to play a game with. I'll see a little flash on the screen. Oh, he's online. Let's see if I can send him a message. He can reply to this message. I can see that he has replied. I can go read the message. Then I can jump into the game. Just things that simple, things that have been around on consoles since frickin' Xbox Live. Frickin' the original Xbox. Downloads are on Nintendo consoles. Downloads are still primarily tied to hardware. That is ridiculous. This is 2014. I lose my PlayStation Vita? Well, fuck. That's unfortunate. I'm down $200, $300 probably for the hardware. At least I didn't lose much game data though. It's all backed up to the cloud and I can re-download most of my games. Maybe I have to repurchase a game card. I lose my 3DS? Well, fuck. Not only am I out $300, I lost all those Ambassador games, all those 3DS, all those DSiWare, all those Virtual Console, all those full games like Animal Crossing or Pokemon. Gone. I can't get those back. I gotta buy them again. And I don't have the data for those either when I do buy them again. I'm starting from scratch. And let's talk about the eShop for a minute. You have things like the PlayStation Store, still not the best. You have things like Xbox Live, the marketplace getting a little better. You have things like Steam, and now there's just no fucking excuse, Nintendo. That is... Then the fact that you treat online with such disdain. In general, just complete, utter disdain. You have major games like Super Mario 3D World that could have had online. There is no real reason other than you just didn't do it that this thing couldn't have had online co-op. You have no online games on the Wii U. Let's carry on with the eShop. The Virtual Console on the Wii, it wasn't what it could be. It was pretty good, though. The Wii U, to this day, is not at par with what you built over 7 years with the Wii. Why? Sony had, within the first year, full access to my downloadable PSP games. Full access to... Well, not full access. Access to a lot. Like, probably 80% of their PS1 catalog. There's just no excuse. And when you move these games to... If you move your Wii games to your Wii U, not only does the save data not follow you, it might stay on the Wii portion of it, in that little gated sandbox. Not only do you not get the games, but the ones that are on the Wii U side of the shop, they want you to pay more money for that. I had all these downloaded PSP games. Day they were available. I could load them on my Vita. No extra charge. There is just no excuse. These are... This isn't just not knowing Nintendo. This is just stubbornness. Pokemon Bank is not the big problem here. It is just it's just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back on your stubbornness and refusal to realize you do not live in a vacuum. There is competition out there. There is a standard to be set in 2014 And arbitrary limitations like this are just ridiculous. Don't make shit needlessly pointless, Nintendo. Have basic features that I can find anywhere else. Don't arbitrarily limit features that you not only expect us to pay for, but are an integral part of building your intellectual property. I love you, Nintendo, but you're just really hard to love sometimes. Hey, if you stuck around this long, thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm a hater. I own a Wii U. You probably don't. Leave a comment. If you liked it, give me a like. That'd be cool. I could always use some more subscribers. Super Mario Advance 4 is still coming out. You're gonna see more episodes more frequently in the next week or so, and we got another vlog. We got another Let's Review coming out very, very shortly. Until next time, stay classy, YouTube.